The meeting is called to order. May I ask, let me read these instructions. Oral public comments may only be provided live during the Planning Commission meeting in person. All comments provided shall be limited to 3 minutes or less, as determined by the chair. All members of the public will be limited to 1 comment per agenda item and 1 comment for non-agenda items. Members of the public may submit written comments by email to the planning department at milpitas.gov. May I ask Commissioner Awasti to lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, Commissioner Awasti. May I kindly call the roll? Ms. Medina?
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, Planning Commissioners, Chair, staff, and community members. I will take attendance, starting with Commissioner Kong. Here. Commissioner Culkins.
Here.
Commissioner Gupta.
Here.
Commissioner Awasti.
Here.
Commissioner Galong.
Present.
Vice Chair Medina Ashby is absent this evening, and Chair Albana.
Here.
Thank you.
I ask our city attorney to do the conflict interest declaration.
Thank you, Chair. I ask the Chair and every other member of the Commission whether he or she has any financial or personal conflict of interest related to any of the items on tonight's agenda.
Commissioner Kong.
None.
Commissioner Culkins.
None.
Commissioner Gupta.
None.
Commissioner Awasti.
None.
Commissioner Galong.
None.
And Chair Albana.
None.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let the record reflect no reported financial or personal conflicts. I further ask the Chair and every other member of the Commission to please disclose any campaign contributions of $100 or more received within the last 12 months from any of the parties entering into contracts with the city on tonight's agenda, or contributions received from any development project applicant for development projects on tonight's agenda.
Commissioner Kong.
None.
Commissioner Culkins.
None.
Commissioner Gupta.
None.
Commissioner Awasti.
None.
Commissioner Galong.
None.
And Chair Albana.
None.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Let the record reflect no reported campaign contribution conflicts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, City Chair. Attorney. I would like to go and move to the next approval for the agenda of tonight. March 13, 2024. Do I have a motion to move for the approval of our agenda tonight?
Move to approve the meeting agenda for March 13, 2024. I second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Galang, and for Commissioner Awasti.
Commissioner Kong.
Aye.
Commissioner Culkins.
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta.
Aye.
Commissioner Awasti.
Aye.
Commissioner Galong.
Aye.
Chair Albana.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Medina. Next, we will have the approval of the last minutes of the meeting of February the 28th, 2024. Do I have a motion for approval of the minute?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for February 28, 2024.
Second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Hawkins and Commissioner Kong. Ms. Medina?
Commissioner Kong.
Aye.
Commissioner Culkins.
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta.
Aye.
Commissioner Awasti.
I abstain. I was absent, please.
Thank you. Commissioner Galong.
Aye.
And Chair Albana.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next item would be announcements. Any announcements from the planning commissioners? No announcements, planning director, anything you could share?
No announcements. Thank you.
All right, our next item in the agenda is public forum. Members of the public are invited to speak on any item that does not appear on today's agenda. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes or less at the chair's discretion. When called to speak, you're encouraged to speak your name, state your name for the record. As an item not listed on the agenda, no action can be taken. However, the Planning Commission may instruct the staff to place the item on a future meeting agenda. Is there any comments from the floor?
I believe that all the speaker cards received are for the item that is agendized.
Okay, for those that are not agendized, is there anybody? I see there's none, so yes, items that are on the agenda, yeah, that will be later on. So this is not for the ones in the agenda. All right, so our next item will be in our agenda is item number 9. So now 1X-1, we're gonna hear from about the Head Smoke Tobacco Shop. And we have Mr. Randy Baez as the one who will present to us. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you and good evening, Chair, Commissioners, and members of the public. My name is Randy Baez, Associate Planner with the City of Milpitas. The item before you is a request for a conditional use permit to allow for the retail sales of tobacco products at 1225 Jacqueline Road. The applicant is requesting a conditional use permit to allow for the operation of a head/smoke/tobacco shop within 870 square feet of an existing 9,960 square foot multi-tenant commercial building on a 0.9 acre parcel at 1225 Jacqueline Road. No physical improvements are proposed at this time. The applicant proposes to operate daily from 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. midnight, and sales of tobacco would still require any relevant permits from the state. Next slide, please. For some background on this property, on August 9th of last year, the Building Safety and Housing Department conducted an inspection of the property and found that it was operating without the benefit of a conditional use permit or CUP. On September 5th of last year, the building department conducted an additional inspection of the property and found the business conducted an interior remodel without the benefit of a building permit. This project seeks to address these violations and to bring the property into compliance. Relevant building permits would include at least a certificate of occupancy and possibly a tenant improvement plan. Next slide. This is an aerial image of the project site and is located northeast of the city center at the corner of North Park Victoria Drive and Jacqueline Road. The project can be accessed off of North Park Victoria Drive to the east or to the right here, as well as Jacqueline Road to the south. The aerial shows the multi-tenant commercial building, and the subject tenant space is on the far left or west side of the building. This is the zoning map of the property. The project site is zoned C1 or neighborhood commercial and is surrounded by a combination of commercial and residential uses. The properties to the north and south are zoned R14, single family residential, and the property to the east is zoned C1. The property to the west is zoned highway services. Here we see a site plan of the existing project site. As mentioned previously, no physical improvements are proposed at this time, but the site is developed with 2 existing driveway approaches, and typical site improvements such as landscaping. There are also 45 parking spaces on site. The proposed retail use will not intensify the need for parking, and the site has sufficient parking for all existing uses as shown on table 4 of the staff report. The proposed smoke shop will occupy an 870 square foot tenant space most recently occupied by an insurance office. Most of the project tenant space will be occupied by displays and merchandise, but there will also be an office, storage, and a small restroom at the rear of the tenant space. No structural modifications are proposed as part of this project, and no modifications are proposed to the building's exterior. Any new exterior modifications, including signage, would require additional planning and possibly building permits. And additionally, no products will be consumed on site. Next, here are the development standards for the C1 zone. As mentioned previously, no physical improvements are proposed, so the project meets or exceeds all development standards. Consistent with the City of Milpitas Municipal Code, the applicant is requesting to operate a head/smoke/tobacco shop with a conditional use permit. Products that will be sold include cigars, tobacco pipes, tobacco grinders, tobacco wraps, rolling papers, lighters, and clothing. The entire product list is also located on page 3 of the staff report. The CUP request was also routed to the Milpitas Police Department for review, and here are some of those conditions. Line of sight obstructions, including business signs, advertisements, or other markings, should be avoided on the exterior windows to maximize natural surveillance during the business's closed hours. And video and security cameras shall be required for the site with coverage at all access points into the business. The interior video and security cameras shall record in high definition and cover any cash register, safe, or other device that stores currency, entrances and exits, and hallways or paths leading to a restroom. Additional conditions can be found within the conditions of approval in attachment A. The proposed project is categorically exempt from environmental review under the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA, in accordance with CEQA guidelines, section 15301 for existing facilities, and section 15183 for projects consistent with a community plan, general plan, or zoning. A notice was published in the Milpitas Post and at City Hall, as well as the city's website. 649 postcards were sent to property owners within 1,000 feet of the project site, and a sign was also posted at the project site. 5 comments in opposition of the project have been received to date, and all commissioners should have received a copy of them. But if you have not, please let me know, and I'd be happy to provide that. Next slide. Staff has confirmed that the project meets the findings associated with a conditional use permit as set out in the Milpitas Municipal Code. Those findings have been discussed in the staff report and are addressed in the resolution. Therefore, staff recommends that the Planning Commission open and close the public hearing and adopt Resolution 24-013, approving conditional use permit number UP 23-0013, subject to the findings and attached conditions of approval. This concludes staff's summary of the project. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and furthermore, the project applicant and a representative from the police department are also available for any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy, for that presentation. Do any of the commissioners have anything to share or to ask questions from Randy? Commissioner Kong.
Thank you. Randy, do you mind bringing back the slides about zoning conformance?
Sure, Liz, if you could assist with that.
Not this one. I think it's page 8. Yeah, this one. Can you help to clarify the line item with rear north, the line, I would say fourth line down? It says that the zoning requirement is 15 feet when abutting residential, and the existing is 2 feet. And based on the aerial map, I could see that there is residential immediately at the rear side.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Kong, for that question. So that development standard is actually for the building itself, because the commercial building will not be modified in any way on the exterior. We would consider it as complying with the current code. It would just be considered legal non-conforming.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Kong. Any other commissioners? Commissioner Calkins?
Yeah, I have a couple questions. One, just, and I don't know if this would be for Randy or the petitioner himself, but the ID process, because I know one of the concerns is just with the miniature golf place next door in the residential neighborhood. How are we going to make sure they're not selling to minors and those kind of things? And a curiosity question too is they have the QR code in the window requesting people to petition for the side of the petitioner. I was just kind of wondering how many respondents you got for that, because we didn't get any information on that.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yes, the applicant will have a card reader that will verify any identification for the sales. However, Mr. Kareem, if you would like to speak a little bit more.
Would you kindly state your name too?
Good evening, Council. My name is Kareem Salahi. I am the business owner on the petition. So as far as the QR code that we did for people to petition for it, we didn't check it right now, but over 70 votes that went over the survey and gave us a response. Answer your second question, for the IDN process, there is like a small ATM machine that we have in the store where every customer that walks in, they'll have to ID themselves, and you take the ID, swipe it, and the machine will tell you if they're above 21 or not. And that would be a second measure about next to our training that we have the employees go through.
Thank you.
Any other points right now or later?
Any other questions for the applicant?
Yeah, okay.
Commissioner Gupta, yes.
Yeah, thank you. I have a few questions. I know there are lots of conditions of approval, and condition 18 talks about that you will make sure that people are not smoking in the parking lot. So how will you make sure of that?
So for that one, we got lucky with the landlord. It's very flexible with working with us. I've talked to them. They said we're fine with that. We could put no smoking zone, like signage all around the parking lot. That would people could see us like not smoke, and hopefully that cuts it off. But what we're hoping, even with our customers, like everyone that walks in, we could tell them it's okay. It's not a smoking zone. Because the other thing I saw here is people seeing smoke shop, and I think they're assuming a hookah bar where people actually go there and smoke. It's not that. It's a retail shop, exclusively retail, where people walk in, buy whatever they need, and they go home smoke it.
Yeah, I think it'll be very difficult to meet that condition because I know you can maybe control it a little bit by putting some signs, but there's no way you can really make sure of that, right?
Well, eventually you can't control it anywhere. Like people could smoke everywhere. It's just because the other point that a lot of people are not paying attention to, there is tobacco on the site. The liquor store sells cigarettes. So that is there. What we're doing is doing extra steps to make it better for even the community, because right now there is no signage that says no, smoking is not allowed on the property. So
yeah. Okay. the next question. So are you going to sell marijuana in your shop?
No, it's
Not at all?
not. It's not. It's not a dispensary. It's just tobacco shop where we sell tobacco products.
But you are selling you're going to sell CBDs, right?
CBD is not marijuana.
Yeah.
CBD. I could explain. I could indulge into that a little bit more if you want me to. What's considered marijuana is Delta 9 THC. Delta 9 THC is the regulated substance in marijuana nationwide and in Cali. Anything that has 0.3% Delta 9 THC, it's not considered marijuana. And that's when CBD comes into place. The CBD we sell, it's not the CBD you buy at the dispensary, but it's a mix between THC and CBD, where you get a percentage of 1 to 2 or whatever percentage is. The CBD we're selling, it's pure CBD. It has 0.3% THC or less.
So all of your CBD products are going to have that 0.3% of THC or less than that?
Yes, because if it goes above that, we're in violation of the state, federal, and if it goes above that, you need a dispensary license.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then I think the title of the presentation was your business is head/smoke/tobacco. What is head? I don't understand that term.
So head, it's not necessarily there. They call a head shop a store that sells tobacco paraphernalia. That's what they call a head shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. I do know that next door in the grocery store, they do sell tobacco products. They do sell
They only sell
cigars and
cigarettes.
cigarettes, and they don't sell CBDs. But
They
next
don't
door,
sell-
they do sell it, right?
They don't sell cigars. They do sell cigarettes. Only cigarettes.
Okay. I thought I saw when I go there often, so I thought I saw sign for cigars, but I could be wrong. That's okay. I mean, I know that he was concerned that you're going to take away their business, some of their business, but that's
No, so even within cigars, there is categories. You got the cigars, the black, your black and milds, and the backwoods, the small minor stuff, and then you have those like if you are going to open a cigar shop, if you're gonna sell cigars, you need like 4 or 5 displays that just for cigars. If people indulge, I don't know if you smoke cigars or not.
no, I don't.
But it's a huge world just for that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you just indulge in that.
So where is the where are some of the other CBD shops in Milpitas? What's the nearest one come to your mind?
I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar with the area. I know that Milpitas has 2. I don't know if they're vape shops or smoke shops. I don't know what they're considered on papers, but I know they have, I think, 1 or 2.
Yeah, there are a bunch of them within a few miles. I know. I mean, they don't necessarily are in Milpitas, but I think there's some in Milpitas, some in adjoining areas.
Like in the northern part of San Jose, I know that there is one there. I'm not familiar with
Yeah.
the area.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Gupta. Maybe Commissioner Awasi, you had something to ask? Commissioner Galang.
Yeah, hello, good evening, sir. I think you have a list of items. Tell me about the tobacco pipes, tobacco containers or grinders. What does it do?
I couldn't hear you. Can
No,
you repeat that?
The tobacco pipes, tobacco containers, tobacco grinders.
So
What that mean? What's that?
tobacco pipes is pipes used to smoke tobacco. It's glass pipes that are used to smoke tobacco.
Mhm.
Grinders. I don't know if you've seen dried tobacco where people make their own cigarette.
Where do you get your items? Do you make the?
No. We don't make anything. We're just retail. So there is wholesalers and suppliers that provide the stuff. There is Econo in San Jose, and then there is Pitco in San Leandro. Both those locations, they sell these stuff. We buy it from them, and then we sell it retail.
Is there any limit to sell some cigarettes or something, or
Limit on what?
one per person? Can you buy any tobacco or anything?
Yeah, as long as he's over 21, he could buy whatever he wants.
So,
I think there is a liquor store. I think there's a, I think, this dry cleaners and stuff in that building is still there? Or you restaurant that in that
There is legal store.
liquor store,
Oh,
right?
liquor
Yeah.
store. Yeah.
So you, so you're occupying the middle of that building on the
Far right. It's the last. We're the last unit to the far right. If you're looking from liquor stores here, there is a chiropractic next to it. We're next to that.
Then can you smoke inside your property?
No, it's not a hookah bar. It's just a retail shop.
Okay. Do you know that behind that building is a residential area, right?
Mhm.
And also, you're near the golf course. A lot of kids going in and out. Then I've noticed this. I don't know now, but before, after school, high school, okay, sometimes they tend to stay, just hang around in that area, that parking space. I don't know if you know that.
Well, the store itself, it's a 21 plus zone. So no one under 21 could walk in. Anyone that tries to walk in, they'll be kicked out right away.
About diesel vapes.
Vapes or no?
They don't sell marijuana. Okay. Do you have any other store?
I do have another store.
Where's that?
It's in San Leandro.
How many years?
It's been in business for 2 years.
2 years. Why you choose Milpitas?
Huh?
Why you choose here in Milpitas?
Because I get a lot of customers that come from here all the way to there because the selection of stores around here, they're not good or they're not in a safe areas. So they'll drive up all the way to San Leandro.
So where do you get again your cigarettes? Where do you buy? Where do you purchase that?
Where do I buy my stuff?
Yeah.
Econo Wholesale in San Jose and Pitco Wholesale in San Leandro.
Thank you, Commissioner Galang. I have a couple of questions to the applicant. You said you'll be selling paraphernalia.
Mhm.
Is this going to be used for the paraphernalia could be used for the consumption of cannabis, right?
So essentially, it is for the use of tobacco. That is like when you talk about a lighter, it could go either way. But it is,
Tobacco, cannabis,
yeah, you could use it.
paraphernalia that has also the water.
The water.
You know, like it's like a tube with water. I don't know what you call those things.
I'm not
If
getting
I
it.
can help, I think she's talking about a bong.
Oh, so water pipes. Yeah. So
Yes.
those are for tobacco use. You could use them however way you want eventually, but that's the intention of them because on papers you can't sell anything that is for marijuana or other stuff.
But people can use it for that. It will lead to that. It will lead to that cannabis culture.
Yeah, people could take a bottle of alcohol and make a bong out of it.
Okay, all right. So you answered one of the questions I was going to ask. You owned another outlet at another shop. So I have a question for Randy, if it's okay. Randy, had we studied how many shops are there in Milpitas, just Milpitas, which we call Head Tobacco
Yes, I believe
smoke
there.
shops?
Yes, I believe there are only 2 other similar shops. However, there are many tobacco retailers within the city. Tobacco retail is provided by the state. Let me see if I can pull up that department. It's the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration, or CDTFA, and they do have a map of all the tobacco retailers. But to be honest, it was too many to count. The nearest tobacco retailer to this project site was within the same shopping center, like the applicant mentioned, that's at the Bonfair Market, and I believe they only sell the cigarettes. The next closest one is at a gas station about a quarter mile away.
Isn't there one by where you have grocery outlet?
Yes, that would be close to a mile away, and there's a cluster of tobacco retailers over there as well. And I do also have the definition of head/smoke/tobacco shop from our municipal code, if you'd like that.
Yes, could you read it, please?
Sure. So the definition is a retail establishment primarily engaged in the selling of smoking and tobacco products and accessories and other products, devices, and components reasonably assumed to be used for smoking and or the inhalation or ingestion of any substances. And this is primarily when 30% or more of products sold at the establishment are smoking and tobacco products and accessories.
Thank you, Randy. And one last question I just got into my mind is, do you have like at least a survey, or do I have to ask from the police department or the representative from the department regarding any untoward negative reports, some trouble that was caused around these areas of these shops?
Yes, as far as I know, there was none. However, yes, we do have a representative from the police department. I believe Lieutenant Sanchez should be able to answer that.
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Oh, hi.
So if there's, I believe the question was, there any criminal activity directly related to the smoke shop?
Yes.
So based on our research, there was nothing directly related to the smoke shop, any type of criminal activity. There was crime that happened around the area, but nothing directly related to the smoke shop itself.
Thank you. Thank you. Any of the commissioners, any questions? Commissioner Watson? You have a question?
Yeah, I do. First of all, I have my concern. This tobacco shop is very close to residential areas. A lot of kids pass through that area. It's and then there is that golf thing for kids. A lot of kids go there. And I see that on August 9th, you were cited for some kind of violation. And then again on September 5th, there was another violation. So taking into consideration all of this, and when I just heard Mr. Randy saying that the tobacco pipes and all those things are for tobacco inhalation, which we all know. And of course, as you said, and our Chair Obama said, they can be misused. Anything can be misused. So, but when we see any police stop, they always say that they don't say that tobacco pipes were found in the car. They say drug paraphernalia was found in the car. So and what will you mind telling us what kind of when there was an inspection, what kind of violations were there? If there were violations prior to even getting the conditional use permit, and were there any licenses which were not there and you were operating? And how do we know that in further going down the road in such a clustered area, but there are so many, and we have some residents whom we treat in very high order. We are here for the residents also, for the businesses also. And so we have to take everybody in consideration.
I'm sorry, but you just dumped a lot of stuff. You just said a lot of stuff. What do you want me to answer? What's the
You
question?
can answer whatever you think is in order.
No, because I've lost track of the stuff
Okay.
you've said.
So what were you cited for?
So we were cited because when the police department or the city they stopped by, we didn't have the conditional use permit to open tobacco. The way that went by is we called the city before we even leased the spot. It's like, hey, is this zoning wise? Is this a good? Are we up to code if we open a tobacco shop here? The answer was yes. We didn't investigate more, and that's a fault on our part. We didn't investigate more that there is a conditional use permit because, like in Saliendo, my other store, they don't have a conditional use permit. If it's up to code, you could just open. We then opened. We are complied with the state, the IRS, with everyone. We're complied on all the paperwork. The only thing we didn't know about the conditional use permit that the city of Milpitas had, so we didn't apply for it, and that's why the same day they stopped by on August, that's when we closed. The second violation, I think it was the flag that was outside. I don't remember because the business been closed since August.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And when you have those pipes and the grinders and all those things, we already have one smoke shop over here. And in Milpitas, we don't have marijuana dispensaries or anything like that. So it was never approved for the city. So selling all this tobacco pipes, tobacco containers very close to residences. How do you think the kids will see a puff shop? Don't you think we're at a time when we are trying to limit exposure to kids, it is going to entice them?
Yeah, well,
And with all those pipes and tobacco pipes and those containers and different type of things which I see made of very fancy glass. So if we, I have a concern on that. Go ahead.
yeah, so eventually, like the pipes and all the other stuff, the kids are not supposed to see it. They're not supposed to be in there. So our job. So one part is on the parents to tell their kids stay away from this stuff. It's bad for you. I don't smoke myself. I don't smoke anything. So, but it's on the parents' part to teach their kids not to go into there. And then the second job is on us as the business owner, training our employees to like, hey, the minute somebody you suspect is under 30 years old, you just ask, hey, how old are you? It's like, let me see your ID, and you ID them on the spot, and then they could go in and buy whatever they want. But before you ID them, like, because you can notice when a kid walk in, like having worked in this many years in the industry, you can see a happy face when he walks in. It's like, okay, no, let me see your ID. You can't be in here. You just gotta go. So I don't think kids are supposed to see this stuff. It's an adult store, and that's why there is signage that says 21 years old or over. That's the point of that.
All right. Yeah, and another thing which concerned me was when you're opening a business in a city, you should have gone through the rules and ordinances of the city and not just assume that if some city is not allowing something and the other city will allow. They did not give you. I don't think our city in the letter gave you a right to open the shop without any conditions.
It was a naive act for me
Uh,
to assume that Milpitas or any other city is like Saliendo. So I went ahead, did all the paperwork, and opened up. I did comply with the state. I didn't know that the city have regulations. Now that the minute they told us about it, which was August 9th, or I don't know when is the day they stopped by. The day they stopped by, not even an hour later, the store was shut down. It was closed, and we went to the city like we didn't know we could take the process. It's been like 7 months now that we've been paying rent on a closed space. It's just like because we didn't do it the right way the first time, so we're trying to do it the right way now.
all right. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Awasti. Anybody else? Commissioner Kong?
Thank you. To the applicant, what can you tell us, when did you first open your business?
I could check that. So the city stopped by like 10 days or 11 days after we opened, roughly in there.
All
Like
right.
we
Um,
just opened like the first week, and then the second week, middle of it, we got that the city stopped by.
So after the city stopped by and alert you that you were in violation for not having a conditional use permit, you said that you already closed the store right away,
Yes.
right? At what point did you do additional work? Because it looks like from Randy's presentation, you had a second violation in September for a different issue which deals with remodeling. And
So-
that's why I'm curious if work still went on inside.
I don't remember when that happened. The store was closed that day. I gotta check with Randy what was that violation, and I gotta dig deeper into it. The only violation, the only time the city contacted me is like, hey, there is a flag, a pole outside the store. You need to take that one inside the store.
Mhm.
And when we closed, because we literally closed the same hour, just closed everything and left. The flag was just hanging out there. And then when they contacted me about that, I went myself and took it down and put it inside.
Yeah. And I went on Google Maps and I saw that some of your customers posted a photo of a very big banner. It says smoke shop now open. It's huge and it's like covering almost half of your storefront view. And are you even aware that this city needs permit for signage?
For the banner?
Yeah.
No, because we would take it during the day, take it out at night.
Mhm.
It's
I
not
see.
permanent.
Yeah. Maybe Randy can help us out here. Is a non-permanent signage something that a business put out on a daytime and they take it in at night? Is that in compliant to our city code?
Thank you, Commissioner Kong. So we can consider temporary signage through a temporary sign permit.
Yep. And has the applicant, you did not apply for any
No.
of it, right?
I didn't.
Okay. Yeah, it just sounded like, you went in assuming a lot of things based on your past experience in San Leandro,
Yes.
and which resulted in a lot of things that, right now it looks like you have to correct. And I do appreciate that you're taking the initiative to correct everything. But I still have concerns because it is really close to residential. It's just right behind. I'm concerned about the operating hours that you're proposing. You're proposing every single day, 10 a.m. to midnight. What's your justification for such a long operating hours in a residential area?
Well, it's just the other shop we got is the same hours. It's like it's the same thing. Like what we're doing is opening as much hours as possible, because some areas, like you would go there, people don't start coming until 12, and then you have to adjust it from 12 to 12, or they come at 8, so you have to open at 8 and close at 5. You don't know that information until you're operating. So at least in the beginning, we open as many hours as possible, see how is the market, see what's going on, what people are liking, and then adjust the hours. It could be 5 hours, it could be 12 hours, it could be 14 hours. So it's just a way for us to measure when is the traffic
Mhm.
peak.
Yeah, because I did look up the other two smoke shop that is in existence in Milpitas right now, and they are on a very busy, I would say, traffic way, in the sense that they are both on Calaveras and they stop operating at 8 p.m. So it's a bit surprised that your location, which is more on a very quiet residential area, although it's a retail complex, it is not in a very busy area. So it's a very quiet area. And I really wonder if you consider having it even shorten time right now based on your few days of operations. Because you have 10 days to kind of judge the traffic of who comes in, when, and
And we didn't really look at the data at that time. It was just because the minute they told us, like, oh, buddy, we review the month at the end of it, we'll see when it's because in our POS system we could see the transactions when it's the peak, when it's the slow. We didn't get the chance to do that, but I am flexible with hours. If the city sees, if the commissioner sees that we're ought to adjust the hours, I don't really mind it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then last question for you is the layout of your retail shop. It's really elongated with a single entrance door. Have you even already evaluated with the fire department if it meets code? Because one single entrance in and out, there is no emergency exit. And you're selling a product that I understand you're not utilizing any products inside, but just that the concern that this is a smoking product, fire hazards was my first concern.
That's what I think a lot of there's a lot of misconceptions in the conversation today. Like when per se, it's next to residential units. Has nothing to do. It's like you're buying a chocolate bar, you're buying like cigarette. It's the same concept. You're buying your stuff. The concern is with kids walking in per se. So that would be solved by not allowing any kids in. That's how it's supposed to be. The other part, when you say fire hazards, there is nothing that fires. There is no fire hazard in the whole store.
You said that you're selling lighters, right? A lot of lighters, they might be testing out lighters in the shop.
Yeah, the fire that
Yeah.
could get out of the lighter, it's not like you could try it at home and just throw a lighter on the ground, let it explode. It's nothing. It's like like a tiny firework. Like it's not that major. We do have also a sprinkler system in there too. So
But no second exit, right? Right now,
No second
there's no
exit.
way to even put a second exit. In
no,
the-
it's impossible.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner Kong. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Commissioner Galang.
Yeah, can you put on the entrance? Yes, sir. I'm looking at the main entrance, and then on the left side, what's that? Is that all where you put your cigar?
So those are
How-
displays. Those
Okay.
are displays. I'd say this height, like or 3 feet high, and it goes around the section like that, either 6 feet or 5 feet or 4 feet. Displays,
A glass like table or
yeah, glass display.
display?
All sides are glass and then with aluminum framing.
Are those because when you have a cigar, of course, you can smell once you walk in your property in that inside, you can smell. How do you put it on in the area that
No,
how do you
cigars don't go there. Cigars, since we didn't have the time in those 11 days, we have the contractor has not came out. The cigars, they have their own humidors, standing humidors that are roughly 6 or 7 feet high by 4 feet. That it goes like this. It's locked and it's gonna go on the outside. If you see the main entrance all the way up next to that display, it's gonna go there.
so you about that storage? Do you use that for to store your items?
No, it's just an empty space that if we have extra stuff, we could put there.
And you do that with exit? You have only one entrance and exit?
Say that again?
You have only one entrance and exit? You don't have an exit at the back?
No, there is no exit in the back.
Oh. So how many employee do you need in that?
Typically, one, if we see that there is a rush hour, then two.
Up to what age you can sell the vehicle? Like what up to what age?
Up to what age?
Yeah. What's the minimum? It's at 18,
Oh, 21 years old.
21.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Galang. Anybody else? I have one for Randy. Randy, looking at the floor plan, how is it decided that it would or it would not need an exit? Like load, explain that, like so that we may know more information. something to do with the load of the whole, what was that, 870 square feet?
Yes.
Thank you.
So the requirement for 2 exits is based on building code as well as review from our fire department. Our fire department did review the application and did provide some conditions of approval that did speak about the occupant load, but as proposed, they were not requiring two exits. However, if they make modifications in the future, that may change. But yes, it would be up to the fire department.
Did the applicant say about how many customers they can accommodate inside? Is there a max, a minimum?
No, there is just a restriction from the fire department that says that this approval does not allow for an assembly use, which is defined as 50 or more occupants. But the actual occupant load would be determined during the certificate of occupancy review, and that would be technically a building permit.
Thank you. Can I ask the applicant about how many do you expect? How many customers do you get in your San Leandro?
Throughout
At that
the
time,
day,
like within an hour, sometimes they're there looking around, some are buying, some are looking around. About, you have 10, you have 15.
the operation hours there, it's 14 hours. We get 100 customers throughout the day. The max we get is 3 to 4 customers at once in the store. Because typically, since it's retail, grab and go, they walk in, grab whatever they need, go. And that's how the traffic flow.
I see. I see. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Planning director, have any questions?
Just a little more information based off of earlier questions in terms of the number of tobacco retailers, which is not just smoke shops, but it includes pharmacies, liquor stores, supermarkets. In Milpitas, there are, I think, 40 to 42 because we allow it through a conditional use permit and we don't have an ordinance that provides any further restrictions. So that's the number that we have. Other comments? Smoke shops are primarily allowed in commercial areas, and the way that Milpitas, the city of Milpitas, is laid out is that in a suburban city, there are commercial shopping centers throughout the entire city. So I think any commercial center you go to, it will be near residential because if they are not allowed in industrial areas, and that would probably be the only area where it wouldn't be close to residential. So just wanted to lay that out there as well. And we also have a smoke-free ordinance in our Milpitas Municipal Code that prohibits smoking in certain areas throughout the city, primarily at public events and multi-unit housing, and also in common areas and multi-unit housing in order to protect the youth. And also within a certain number of feet from entrances and exits from buildings where smoking is prohibited. A lot of private property owners will prohibit smoking on their own initiative. So just wanted to kind of add a little bit of context for other regulations related to this topic.
That's it. Thank you, planning director. No other comments from the commissioners or questions, I would say? Do we open now the public forum? So since there's no more clarifying questions, we're opening the public forum right now. Those who wish to speak, you would have to speak your name and you will have only 2 minutes. Is there anybody who'd like to speak or your comments?
Chair Albana, I have 4 speaker cards
Yes.
on this item, for this agenda item. And first we have Mr. Anthony Tobacco.
Thank you. Yes, yes. Yes, thank you.
So it's 2 minutes or 3 minutes?
1 moment. How many minutes does my colleague say? 2 or 3? We have 4.
The max is 3.
Okay, 3, sir.
3, okay.
Max. Thank you.
My name is Anthony Tobacco. I am a property owner in Milpitas across the street. I also happen to be the president of Park Victoria Townhomes Development, which is across the street on Daniel. Not related to the shop. My last name is Tobacco. I just wanted to clear that up. I am pro-business. And I was a little bit concerned that when I saw the shop was open, I'm glad that, I think it's Randy mentioned that at least you were active on closing it down when they didn't have the proper permits and issuing violations. I got the nice yellow card and saw that you were now looking at approving this permit, which I don't know how they can be open now, but that's okay. Overall, I think business is good. Where this business is, and there were a number of questions from all of the folks up there that talk about the children. I don't know if I could distribute this, but I took the liberty of highlighting all the schools that are in the general vicinity. And it's not a matter of where this shop is relative to the schools, it's the corridor, the walking traffic. Kids go in all directions. And I'm glad that I think you pointed out about the one banner sign. I was there today. The sign is unbelievable on the wall. It takes up a lot. It points to Golfland. So anybody walking in that direction, anybody at Golfland, you're going to see this big smoke shop. And if you have children, and I was a kid too, you will find a way, if you want to smoke, to get smoked. It doesn't matter if you're not 21 years old. You're going to find that way. And that really concerns me. And we have a nice community, and it's just, it bothers me that, something that is just selling paraphernalia that can be used for drugs or tobacco, has that opportunity for a problem. Let's see. In general, I would say there's no way that this shop can police the issue of smoking. When I was there today taking pictures, there's smoking all over the place. I don't know where it was coming from, but it was right in front of the shop, and I could smell it. And it's inconceivable that you can put all kinds of signs, but people are going to go out there. They're buying something new. The first thing they're going to do, light up. At least that's human nature. So I really oppose this. I think any business that helps Milpitas is good, but this particular business with all the children, to me, it doesn't make sense. That's really all I wanted to say. Would you like to see these maps? I'm sure that you guys know where all the schools are anyway. Sure.
You can hand it to the secretary. Thank you so much for your comment. Next, Ms. Medina is going to call the next speaker.
Yes, our next speaker is Sen Kadir R.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you, all of you, for making Milpitas a safe place for my kids and my family. So I moved to Milpitas 5 years ago, and till date, I feel this is one of the safest cities in Bay Area, and thanks to all of you for that. My house is exactly on the backside of the property, which is the Fox Hollow Court. This is a very residential neighborhood. It's a very calm neighborhood, and there is nothing separating this property from the back of our houses. There is a parking lot which belongs to golf course, and this retail property is next to that, and there is nothing preventing smoking or the residents getting the smoke smell if some public choose to smoke. The second thing I would like to tell to everybody is this is a major intersection. If you go stand there around 3 p.m., 1:30 to 3 p.m., you could see a lot of parents, a lot of kids walking through the area, a lot of them, a lot of high schoolers biking to the high school and middle school over there. And there are a lot of retail places, but this specifically is in such a way that it encourages smoking, like smoke shop, like which a lot of, how do I say? It's like, come smoke. It's kind of gives an image. Come smoke here. So that's the image I get when I see that. As the owner himself said, as a responsible parent and also a resident very close to this shop, I'm not comfortable in having a shop like this very close to my neighbor. That's my concern. And city of San Leonardo, I just went through what are the rules. After 2019, you need to have a tobacco permit license to sell any tobacco products in city of Leonardo. Do we have some license like that in city of Milpitas? And also would like to ask the business establishment whether they had applied that license. Because if you have license, you're operating this business after 2019 in San Leonardo, you have to take this license. That's all from my side.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ms. Medina, who's next?
Yes, I have Kuljinder Kaur Bariana.
Hi, my name is Kuljinder Kaur Bariana, and I'm here to oppose this business because I'm right behind live across, not even across, it's going to be behind my backyard. And I'm kind of surprised the city even gave the conditional approval, and we were surprised to see the big neon sign for the shop open. We were not aware of until we get this notice, the yellow card last week or so. And other thing is, and the zoning, it says the 2 feet, the before. And you guys are gonna go ahead with the same zoning. Used to be there, insurance, like, Allstate, all those shops. And I don't have any problem with that. I don't know how the city okay with even temporary use with previous zoning, even aware of it's backyard to the residential community. I really want to raise my concern about it. I'm opposing this. And there's a lot of kids, even my kids, when they used to go high school, the kids cross there. And if we are trying to raise our kids in the safer community, I don't think this is the way to go. And I am not against businesses, but this is not a good location for this kind of business. And I would really request the City Planning Commission to really look into it and oppose this business. And it's going to be a lot of adverse effect on our youth kids. And that's what our future is. And I really opposing this one. And I really want you guys to review the zoning. If it's older zoning, it's a 2 feet from the backyard. And it's like, older families. And can you imagine somebody's behind in your backyard till 12 a.m. every day? And there's a noise and all the hazardous, and it's right next to the 680 exit, Jacqueline. And how busy it's going to be. And we're going to attract not the people we want in our neighborhood. So I would really encourage and request city planning to oppose this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ms. Liz, the next. Will this be our last one?
Chair, we have 4 more. And the next speaker is Peter Pham.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Huang Pham. I live at 1165 Park Hollow Court. We are just like the first street at the mall. I mean, and I have a very big concern when this thing will be open, because I don't like smoking. First, the smoking is bad for our health. And we have a lot of minors in our neighborhood, and open a tobacco shop here can influence their use on the tobacco. And we also have experienced a lot of disturbance from this shop. I think the kid, because they're not allowed to smoke in the parking lot, so they go to our neighborhood and smoke, and they call disturbance. We've been living in this neighborhood for the last 35 years. It has been a quiet neighborhood, and I think open this shop, will change all that. So I would like the commissioners to, vote against this. Yeah, because this will be a concern. I think not only for myself, but I think for a lot of parents in the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Chair, next speaker is Loch Nguyen.
Hi all. My name is Loch Nguyen, and I live just behind that shop, right? So I have been there for more than 35 years. And really in this kind of shop, when they have this kind of shop, it's really bad for our, for the living there. You see, one night, right? I think they have one night, I don't remember well, but I think it's on October or something. So when my wife and I came back from the gym, I saw a big, big group in the front of the shop, right? And I thought, oh, how come the city allow them to do that? So very big group, would say about more than 10 people right in front of the shop at 11 a.m. 11 p.m. Right? And then when we ride home, there's a car in front of our house. Right? There are 5 kids in there. I wouldn't say 5 kids, but at least a few teenagers in there, look very, very young. So they stay there and smoke. Right? So that means there's no way they say they cannot smoke in the parking lot. If they cannot smoke in the parking lot, they go to our house to smoke in front of my house. So I don't remember well what they. So this is really, really bad for us, to have the shop there. So I really oppose to this one. I hope the city not let them do that. Right? I lived there for so long. I'm a former smoker. I quit because of my children. So I don't want the other children to get back to get back to to smoke like that. Right? So I really oppose it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Chair, the next speaker is Venkat Van Kailapati.
Hello, good evening. I'm Venkat Vankalapati. I've been a resident right behind that shop since 1996, part of Fox Hollow Court. We have seen a lot of activities in the parking lot during the weekends. Even without the smoke shop, we see a lot of kids hanging out during the weekends. We see a lot of people drinking. A lot of activity happens next to the golf land. And they have put in such a big poster on the wall that smoke shop is open. It's still today, it's still there. Even the shop is closed, the banner is still there. And we see a lot of school kids coming, and they come for playing. They run around the parking lot because there's a lot of open space in the golf land. A lot of kids spend time after school hours and things like that. So this is not a good for them to see these kind of activities, smoke shops in the neighborhood. And also it disturbs us. We are right behind that place. And people smoke in the parking lot. You can't control. Police cannot control. Police cannot be there to monitor all the time. Even though you have video cameras and everything, there's no way you can control. So they end up in our court, and we see a lot of activity. And moreover, they're talking about keeping it open till midnight every day. So it's going to be a lot of nuisance for us. We would like to request you to reject this application. Thank you for your support.
Thank you. Ms. Medina, who's next?
Lastly, we have Kevin Lai.
Hi, Commissioners. My name is Kevin Lee, and I'm the franchisee of the Bonfair Market. It's quite close to the smoke shop trying to open. And with the Bonfair Market franchise, we have like more than 30 years in that location. And we know that we also sell smoke, cigarettes, tobacco, things like that. And I've been there since 2008, and I see that over there we have a like a bonfire market. They sell cigarettes, uh, cigar, tobacco, things like that. On the other side, they have the gas station on sells cigarette also, and on one side of Park Victoria and Jacqueline, they have the water store. They also sell cigarette and tobacco and cigar too. I believe so. And I think that with that radius from the smoke shop or the web shop trying to open in that radius of like just about 0.2 mile, and we already have a three uh, cigarette shop already. And I come here just trying to tell that I'm so concentrated for just for except if they open for the CBD, that one we don't know, or the web we don't sell. I have a no thing, but if they sell things like uh, cigarettes, cigar, or tobacco, I oppose because in that area, in that small area, we already have a three shop open, and that we've been there for more than 30 years, and we don't think it's a good idea to open for another one just for the same kind of product in that small area in like in from Bonfair Market on 2 mile, and then we have now we have a three, and then we have a four shop for cigarettes, and I don't think that it's a good idea to open that. So I just come here to oppose for opening another cigarette, cigar, and tobacco. But I don't know about the CBD and the web about. I don't know what for the area. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Is that our last speaker, Ms. Medina?
Yes, Chair, no more speakers.
And do we have any online?
We do not accept public.
Is there anybody in the audience that would like to make their comments? You do that. Only one. Right? Yeah, sir, you can only speak. You can only speak once. It's my discretion. Yeah, the general rule is you only speak once, but if you could say something.
It'll be quick, yeah.
Yeah, quick. Okay.
I was a little bit nervous. I just want to unequivocally state, I oppose this permit. That's all I want.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Smoke shop open, and so with some of my employees work at night. They so concerned about some people from other area. They buy the product and they sit in the front in their car, and that's why my employees tell me that they kind of scared, and they ask me how to can we put some camera to monitor the front of the parking lot, because they have because we in that area we know on the residents or on the customer, they just come in, they they like couple days a week. But with those customers that we don't know in the area, but they buy the product and they sit into the car, and that one is my employee concern about that problem too.
Yes, thank you so much. Would the commissioners have any other comments? Seeing there are no comments, then I'll have to have the,
Yeah, I have some.
all right.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody who spoke. We really appreciate your concerns. So if I try to understand what you were all saying.
Excuse me, Commissioner Gupta, we have to close the questions and then we'll go to the comment.
Okay, I have no more questions. I have some comments and
One more
possible
question.
suggestion for a
Okay.
compromise.
Does anybody else have more questions?
I have for Mr. Randy.
All right.
Yes, Commissioner.
Do we need a tobacco license in the city of Milpitas? A lot of cities have a tobacco license before opening, or yeah, they have to apply. Do we have any such requirement in the city?
I could answer that question.
Yeah, thank you.
As I was previously working on a tobacco retail permit ordinance, we received a grant from the county to do this work. And the direction we received from council was to partner with the county, who is willing to enforce the permit if we mirror the county's permit. But also part of that agreement committed the city significant staff and resources to also partner in that enforcement. And we did not have the staffing and resources to enforce certain aspects that the county wanted to see. So because of that, the ordinance did not pass. So we do not have a tobacco retail permit. Some cities do. It's a local permit in addition to the state permit, where we can add additional requirements, that fit our context. But we do not have one right now, which is why. But we do have a use permit process for which it takes the place of a tobacco retail permit process.
Thank you, Planning Director. Another question in this respect would be that when we are not talking of enforcement, it's just like a business license. When we go to when you go to open a business, we apply for a business license. Likewise, a lot of cities, they want you to apply for a tobacco license. Enforcing or policing comes next. So do we have anything, and most of the cities, by the way, they charge for a tobacco retail license. It may mirror the state license, but yes, they do charge. Enforcing is an entirely different matter altogether. So do we have anything like this in the city?
We do not, because the challenge of enforcing it based off of current staffing and resources.
I think we can add, it will bring revenue to the city. All the cities have. We can think about it. Thank you.
At this time, I think I will have to call a motion to close the public hearing. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing, please?
I'll make the motion to close the public hearing.
Thank you,
I
Commissioner
second.
Kong. Thank you.
Commissioner
Gupta?
Kong?
Aye.
Who seconded?
Commissioner, it was motioned by Commissioner Kong and second by Commissioner Gupta.
Yes, thank you.
Commissioner Kong,
Aye.
Commissioner Colkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta,
Aye.
Commissioner Wasti,
Aye.
Commissioner Galang,
Aye.
and Chair Albana.
Aye. At this time, would any of the commissioners have some comments before we make a recommendation? I will want to hear from my colleagues here first.
Okay.
Do you have any comments? And then I will make.
Yeah,
my last-
so as I said, I wanted to thank everybody who spoke, and we understand your concern. If I trying to understand what you were really saying, a lot of the objection came from having a big sign there saying smoke shop. It maybe it drew a lot of attention, or it's going to draw a lot of attention, maybe from the kids or everybody else, that here is a place to smoke, and as if you're inviting them to smoke, smoke shop. So perhaps one compromise could be to change the name and not call it a smoke shop. Maybe call it, I don't know what's the perfect name, but maybe something which will not draw that much attention especially of the kids. Maybe call it a CBD shop. And because smoking even next door in Bonfair, you can buy cigarettes, but it's not drawing any special attention. And you're not seeing kids going in there and trying to buy cigarettes. So I think if you change the name of the business, perhaps come up with the right name. CBD shop is just one comes to my mind. There could be some other name, so that we can at least not draw too much attention, and perhaps the business can still provide the same products that they're currently planning to do, except that the focus will be on CBD, which is known to have certain value in terms of a medicinal point of view, from health point of view, rather than drawing the attention with the smoke shop. So I'd like to get some feedback on those comments.
We're just for comments among ourselves. Any other commissioners? Any comments you'd like to add before we take any of our final direction here? Commissioner Kong?
Thank you. So besides the signage, I'm also concerned about the operating hours, as I've previously asked the applicant, in terms of considering reducing the hours as a compromise, right? I mean, if this applicant is in earnest trying to, run a business in Milpitas, you have to understand Milpitas culture. We are a city that is family oriented. This is not San Leandro, so your assumptions of operating business in San Leandro cannot be applied directly to Milpitas. And you have heard from the neighbors that they are very concerned about, all this negative impact from promoting smoking in the neighborhood and attracting the wrong crowd. So I really think that if we have conditions to limit the hours, that may appease part of the community impact. That is just one consideration.
Thank you, Commissioner Kong. I have some comments because you mentioned the word, about the culture. I'm pro-business, and I'm in business myself. Sometimes we have to consider that the site, everybody knows that the use of tobacco is not healthy. So I'm not also against that, but we also know that we are always recommended by our physicians that it doesn't only bring disease, disability, and also death, but just the site that it's beside golf land, because the kids, they cross, coming from school, the exposure, the promotion of saying, I guess when you say heads tobacco and smoke shop, it promotes, it's a culture that the business promotes that heads to a deeper use of drugs. We all start that way, smoking and everything, until I'm just saying that basically it's the culture. And I love life and I value life. And Milpitas values family life here. And when you say head shops, those are vapes and everything. The selling of paraphernalia, as I mentioned, is basically, it just promotes leading to a deeper use of drugs. Or if it doesn't lead to deeper use, it just exposes you, and it's easy accessible for kids to be influenced by it. And we always want to diminish the influence of that. So knowing that, I didn't realize there were a lot of shops selling already cigars around the area. That should be limited. So that's my comment on it. The culture, because it's beside golf land, it's by schools and the neighborhood that wants to preserve secondhand smell of smoke, because it entices the people to basically smoke in their cars, or, I mean, it could be like the wind blows and you can smell it. So anyway, that was just what I was going to comment. The culture that it really promotes in the use of things like tobacco. Of course, we are not there to say don't use it, but we know what, if you Google what tobacco can do, it has more, it doesn't have benefits at all. It's bit. So that's all I'm saying. Thank you. Commissioner Wasti.
Yeah, thank you everyone who came and spoke today. Smoke has caught me. My concern about, I have heard everyone and most of the people here, or everybody besides the applicant, has their own reasons. They're living close by, and with the kids, with the banner, with the enticement. And on top of that, as our chair spoke of the culture, the selling of tobacco pipes can lead to drug use. Most of the time when we see police stops, when they say pipes, they don't say tobacco pipes. They are drug paraphernalia. So, and you can see somebody smoking a cigarette, but when you see somebody smoking a pipe, it is assumed that there is drug in it. And I've seen personally some of the smell here and there, and which is coming from a pipe, whether it's in a car or somewhere. So that is an accessory, basically. It can be used for tobacco and it can be misused for drugs, but there is nothing else which can be misused for drugs except those pipes and whatever the shops are selling. So I really have a concern about this shop being set up in a neighborhood and very close to schools. So
thank you,
that was
Commissioner.
my comment.
Sorry. Thank you, Commissioner Wasti. You have more, Commissioner Wasti?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Gala?
Well, I think we talk about the applicant, maybe behavior. As they mentioned, August 2023, September, there's some violation. And then putting a sign, that's an illegal already, not even approved. And maybe when we check his business in San Leandro, maybe he's doing okay there, or can we get any report if his business is fly or something um, about his business, about the applicant?
Basically, that's a comment. So I think Randy should take note of that. Any other comments from the commissioners before we make our motion?
Just one. Mine's more to the people in the audience too, to say thanks to Karim for presenting this tonight, and for the citizens that live in the area for getting involved and coming out and letting us know where you guys stand on this. So it's important. We are a community. So thank you guys for being here.
Do I have a motion?
We get some feedback from the audience, and if we change the name, will that help? Will that? No?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. We cannot have more. comments and deliberation. So I need a motion here. You either to go for what is your motion, to approve or deny?
Chair, do we give a chance to the applicant to say something or his chance is over?
It's over because
Okay.
we spent so much time
All right.
already. He explained himself.
Thank you.
As a matter of fact, he did very good.
Thank
Very
you.
good. Let me ask the city attorney. Thank you. It's at my discretion, so we'll have to go ahead either. I have a motion.
Okay. Okay. Well, before I make a motion, I think so many concerns about the audience also, where the location, the operating hours. I've heard there's some smoke in the parking lot. It's going to be a case, I think. So I like to make a motion to deny um, this this project.
So I have Commissioner Galang. Do I have a second?
I second that.
Commissioner Kong.
Aye.
I is a motion to deny. Commissioner Kong is an aye. Commissioner Culkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta,
I abstain.
Commissioner Awasti,
Aye.
Commissioner Galang,
Aye.
and
Chair is
Chair
aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next agenda, we don't have any new business. Let me read. Any person aggrieved by any final decision of any board, commission, or department head to the city of Milpitas may appeal the decision to the city council by filing written notice of the appeal with the city clerk within 12 calendar days of the date of said decision and paying the required fee. This time limit shall be strictly enforced. This meeting's adjourned. What? What? Oh, I have to get. I have to ask the commission to motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Oh my.
I'll second it.
Commissioner Kong,
Aye.
Commissioner Culkins,
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta,
Aye.
Commissioner Wasti,
Aye.
Commissioner Galang,
Aye.
and Chair.
Aye.
Adana. Thank you.